Hello, our quick. I'm so happy to be your host. I'm Dr. Kella Price with Healthy Fit, and I'm a Spartan SGX coach and obstacle course specialist. And I am here to help you, give you some last minute tips for the race to ensure that you have the best possible time that you say vehicles. There is an easy the obstacles to approach it. So my name is Dr. Kella Price. I'm a healthy fit. I own multiple fitness program brands, and one of the ones is athlete. When you're in the gym to complement your running to prepare you for a race like a Spartan. Please feel free to connect with me and check out our YouTube channel, Kella Price Fitness. My background, I have an MS in exercise science and wellness. Again, I'm a fitness, nutrition, and life coach. And at Spartan, we focus on all the elements to prepare us to be a strong Spartan warrior. I'm a perimenopause hero, and I actually need to update this slide because I had a complete hysterectomy in December. I am a healthy fit mom of 4 boys, Mrs. Texas Earth USA. I am a NPC bikini and fitness competitor, 7-time Ironman and ultra runner, and I lost track of how many Spartans and Deca Fits that I have competed in, as well as obstacle course races. Anyways, I love Spartans because I love being outdoors and I love the challenge of the race. So looking at the race for Dallas, this is the proposed course map and obstacle guide. You'll notice based on the race, the dots on the left side of the slide, which of the each part. So someone who runs the sprint gets 20 obstacles, and those the red dot. On the longer courses, you will get more obstacles. We're not getting a few. In your race strategy is also going to depend on if you're doing it in the open or are you for age group on requirements so that you do not disqualify. So you have to follow the Spartan rule book on how to navigate the obstacles, and there are some no-nos. Out a few of those as vision. You can use to navigate the obstacles. So if you're in the age group, you need to go over or through or satisfy the obstacles successfully on your own. If you can work as a team with your friends to navigate that particular obstacle. So the first are our wall obstacles. There's differing heights. Typically, they start with a smaller wall and increase in height. This is usually one of the first obstacles you see at a Spartan race. So as you approach this particular obstacle, again, the difference here is if you're open or if you are in your age group. If you're in your age group, you have to be able to get over the obstacle without the assistance of another person. If you're an open, you can get a boost from a friend. Another note is that you see these, the A-frame that's holding up the wall, you are not allowed to climb on those. This is particularly important in the age group division. So the easiest way to navigate this particular obstacle You're going to take a running start to the obstacle and reach an arm up. It doesn't matter which arm, you have to kind of play around with which arm is more comfortable for you to reach up. Then you're going to grab your other arm and pull yourself up to the top of the wall. So you get to shoulder height and lean on the wall and sling a leg up over. So your belly is now going to be on the wall here. Sling a leg over and then sling the other leg over. So when you do this, you have to figure out before you get to the obstacle, is it easier for me to do the left side or the right side of the obstacle, right? It might depend on your leg. Left is go belly on the wall. I never recommend jumping off because that's the torque your ankle here from a distance, and you also want to are in the open division. You'll have a lot of people around you, and you want to make sure to keep yourself safe as well as your neighbor Spartans. Olympus. This is one of the wall obstacles you might encounter. This has the this particular obstacle is the Olympus. We're working on our hand grip. See the little rock climbing wall areas as well as the chains. We want to try to use women. If you're a woman and competing, our lower body strength is usually a lot better than our upper body. And so all of the upper body work on the Spartan course can be challenging. So you want to use your legs to help keep you on the wall. You'll notice this particular person in the picture, their feet are flat on the wall. So they're pushing away from the wall and holding on with the grips as you cross the wall. If you touch them before you hit the bell, you have failed the obstacle and you do your 30 burpees. So again, use your feet for leverage and the hand holds to help hold you up as you laterally move across. There is some reaching. Typically, I move my feet, I cross under as I move across the wall here. This is one of my favorite obstacles, the Z wall. So this is another one that we're moving laterally the wall, but the wall is a Z shape. There may be some missing handholds or footholds on your obstacle. So take a look at how it's set up before you go and select a side of the wall that is not missing any of the added obstacle, and you can pick which side you're going to navigate. Depending on whether you're left or right sided dominant, it might behoove you to select a certain side. Again, this particular obstacle, sometimes I cross my legs over because the footholds are not going to be able to hold more than one foot at a time. You cannot touch the top of the wall where we have the top here, and you cannot touch the ground. So you're navigating across the wall in that Z fashion. And again, as soon as you can think you can jump off and reach that bell, go ahead and hit that bell. You don't have to actually touch all of the handholds. This is a great time to talk about your equipment. I highly recommend the Spartan shoes. So they have the rugged design on the bottom, which is great for gripping and running in the dirt. They don't have a lot of extra fabric, and the water comes out of them very easily because your feet are going to get wet. Wide toe box, very flexible. If you have a shoe that is flat on the bottom, you're going to be slipping off some of the obstacles. Additionally, your shoe needs to be flexible because you need to be able to grip and maneuver the obstacles. So this is a great shoe. Invest in that. You'll also want to make sure you have a pair of gloves. I love these Spartan gloves. They also just have the little grips that go on your ball of your hand, but I like the full glove just for added protection. And this will help as you're gripping things so that you don't rip your hand. I've seen that happen with individuals who do not wear gloves. Their calluses get ripped from the wetness or the repetitive use of the obstacles. So this will save you in some of the discomfort. The slip wall. So later in my slideshow, I'll show you the one of the obstacles. You're going to come to the slip wall wet. This is an opportunity. Make sure that if your feet are wet, I usually go and try to brush off my shoes and get any of the water, dry them in the grass or the dirt to improve your gripping. If you took off your gloves for the previous obstacle, this would be a good time to put them on so you have dry hands. If they're wet, they're wet. They're still going to grip pretty well. But this wall on the flat side is at an angle and it's slippery. There's no grips and there's the rope. Most people want to try to hug the wall, but this is not the way to do this particular obstacle. Actually, you want to grab up and reach the rope as high as you can. And your body is going to be up against the wall, kind of in a V. So your feet are flat up against the wall with your butt sticking out. And this way you can kind of walk up the wall as you pull the rope. As soon as you straighten up your body, you're going to slide down. So don't do that. Then when you get to the top, same strategy as any of the walls in the Spartan. You pancake your belly on the wall, look and assess, and either climb down feet first, facing the obstacle, or feet first with your head out. Now, if you are afraid of heights, you might have some challenge in some of these obstacles because they are off heights. I would definitely same concept that we have for the other walls. We want to run towards the obstacle and reach up. This time though, the wall is like a cliff hanging towards you. So you're going to grab onto the top of the wall like we did before, pull yourself up, swing one leg over, pancake your belly on the top, and come down on the other side. A-frame cargo. Climbing up, look for areas where the A-frame is tighter versus a looser mesh. You'll be able to go a little bit faster. The fastest way to get down of the cargo down is to do a climbing down or just turning around and on a ladder. Atlas carry. I love this obstacle. I don't know why so many people have trouble with it. The weight is heavy. However, there is a trick to this. And I do not have an Atlas ball, but I have a basketball. So I'm going to simulate what you need to do. So the ball, you want to look for a ball that doesn't have a huge divot, right? Find one that doesn't have a huge divot that it's in. If it is in a divot, try to roll it out of the divot so it's flat, kneeling down on the ground. Nope. The ball is here. You're going to roll it up your leg. Roll it up your leg until it is on your hip, and then stand up and carry it. That is a lot easier than trying to lift it up with your brute arm force. Roll it up your body until you get it to your hip, and then you squat stand. It's a lot easier when you don't have dogs climbing on you. Barbed wire crawl. There's a couple different approaches. Depending on your hip flexibility, you can army crawl and just use your arms. You can use your arms and your legs and do like an alligator walk, or you can use the log strategy, in which instead of heading straight on like this particular person in the picture, you're rolling, and you can kind of see this person here is rolling, this person here is rolling. Essentially, you roll like a log under the barbed wire and around and roll the other way until you get all the way through. That's the easiest strategy. All right, bucket carry. There's a bunch of different ways that we can pick up the bucket. Try to pick them up from the stack that is higher so that you're not using as much of your energy. So once you get the bucket, there's a couple different strategies that you can have. You'll see the strategy. Some people carry it like this. Okay, so it's straight arm, but your hands are going to get heavy. And if you're trying to go uphill, sometimes your legs get in the way. I like putting it on my shoulder, as you see in the picture. One hand is supporting it in the front, one hand on the top to keep it balanced. If this side gets heavy, I can roll it around the back of my shoulder to the other side. Alternatively, you can carry it like a mule on your back like this, but then you're going to have to be more leaned forward so that you don't drop it. So I like the shoulder option. This is a great one that the cushion and the gloves help support your hands and makes it easier for you. This is also a great illustration in this particular picture. I didn't mention that I recommend being fully covered for your Spartan, meaning that you don't have any exposed skin on your legs or arms, because that's where you're going to have rubbing injuries as you navigate the obstacles. So I always wear a quick dry long sleeve shirt. I wear full pants, and I also make sure my socks are a little bit longer so that I don't get a blister or my socks don't start to come off in my shoe. Now, this weekend, I didn't look at the weather, and depending on what time of day that you're racing, the course may be warmer or colder inside. The water on the wet obstacles may be a little bit chilly. So keep that in mind. You do have the option, if you're not in an age group, you could always take a dry shirt in a lightweight, like a hiking or a running backpack, and change your shirt after the wet obstacle. If you set your backpack down at the end of the wet obstacle, go through, you can change your shirt and still be somewhat dry. If you're in the age group and you want to place, that is not a good strategy, because you want to go for speed and you're just going to be uncomfortable. If it's nice out though, it's sunny out this afternoon, and you have lightweight, quick dry clothing on, you may be dry or mostly dry by the end of the course. The dunk wall. This is the one that you get wet before you climb up the slip wall. You are not going to be able to see in the water. It's muddy. You have to get in your brain and know that you're going to have to go underwater to navigate this obstacle, holding your breath. Again, it might be a little bit chilly, and that it's only a short span, maybe 4 foot max, that you have to be underwater to navigate the obstacle. So just prepare yourself to take a nice deep breath and push off and head out the other side. We're with one arm, reach up with leg over. Now, if the wall is short enough, you could actually swing your leg over, swing your leg up while your arms are still extended to help pull you up as well. And then we have the climbing of the A-frame at the very top, similar to the cargo net strategy. Traverse helix. This is another laterally moving obstacle. And I also like this obstacle a lot. This is another obstacle. You cannot touch the top of the obstacle. There are handholds through the obstacle and places to place your feet, but there's also panes that there's not a foothold. So as you go through this, you really need to plan out where you're going to place your arms and your feet as you move across to the other side. Fire jump. This is so fun because this is our finish at the end of the Spartan. The fire typically is not as big as this particular picture. It's usually like a small little fire. Some people run and they jump over it. Some people kick their heels up to the side. Some people just jog and do a little hop. I do caution you, be careful with your ankles because, again, it's an uneven surface. Don't get too silly at the finish and hurt yourself in your celebratory jump. So those are just a few of the obstacles in the race that you're going to encounter. Remember that any of the obstacles that you cannot complete result in 30 burpees to advance to the next obstacle. You can take your time. The great thing about the Spartan is that any of the obstacles, you can always opt out. You don't even have to try it, but I encourage you to try it because that's part of the fun. Try the obstacle. If you don't successfully navigate it, go ahead and do your burpees. There's no time limit in the Spartan. The race course is open all day. So unlike other races that you might have a certain time limit to finish, you can take your time. You can be with friends, enjoy the course, navigate all the obstacles, and do the burpees. Most people have to do burpees at least for a couple of the obstacles. So don't feel bad if that happens to you. There's a burpee area obstacle. Be safe. See photos. And I encourage you to Spartan or any obstacle course race prepare you to be able to successfully complete more of the obstacles, cross training in the gym, as well as running, training, nutrition, and a more in-depth look at strategies for some of the obstacles so that you can have a safe, fun, so feel free to reach out to me if you need any assistance on your next Spartan. I would love to have you join me so that you can have a safer, more fun, successful Spartan experience. Aru, I'll see you on the course.